What happens after the breakthrough? To much is given, much is required. I remember a time when I was in my career, and I've been in IT over 25 years, but I remember when I was in my career, I just had such a hunger for more. And I just remember no matter what company I worked for, I always found me a mentor and really dive into a place of humility so that I can receive lessons on my journey that will make me stronger. I had a lot of times where I left the office in tears because I was put through tests that made me stronger today. But I would tell you, God allowed me at every level to surpass every mentor I had. So I would say to you that your breakthroughs are supposed to be mentors for you. So I would just tell you that after the miracle comes and the breakthrough comes, it is also a reminder to you that God gives you the power to be the breakthrough. Just be exactly what it is that you want God to do and be in your life. You never know. This little nugget could be what they need, and you could be that witness to get them through that.
225 moments where his glory shines. Yeah.
Welcome to 225 Moments with me, MNicole. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you've always tuned in, welcome back, friend. We're so happy to have you here. This is a space of empowerment and encouragement inspired by Joel 2:25, where God promises to restore years that the locust has eaten. On each episode, you'll find stories of God's restoration power, where He's taken us from loss to abundance. So today, we're going to dive into our next episode and talk about maintaining the miracle. What happens after the breakthrough? The breakthroughs come, now what, right? So a lot of times we see our breakthroughs as finish lines. Like, we're going, we prayed, we fast, we got into it, we went in our prayer closet, whatever it is that you feel like you and God touched and agreed to get you over the finish line of whatever you were going through. But you didn't think about what happens after that. And after that, believe it or not, is you have a spiritual handoff. And the spiritual handoff is where your spiritual maturity should increase for your next level. You're not going to be required to stay in the same place spiritually when you've asked God to elevate you. It just don't go together, right? So when we think of that, I want you to think about a moment where you've been around people, or let's just say you yourself, when you get around people and you start talking about the glory of God and things God has done for you. Are you talking about old testimonies God has done for you 10, 15 years ago? It could be. But I would tell you, God has done way more for you probably than you have given Him credit for. And because of that, that requires spiritual maturity. There's things that you're going to need on this journey. There's a language that you have to talk and speak on this level. So it requires way more than just I've made it or I've gotten through. Or maybe you see God as the breakthrough God, the Santa Claus God. Oh, He's got me through this. Oh, I asked for it and He gave it to you. Well, too much is given, much is required. In the relationship of you going through the breakthrough, I would also tell you that your breakthroughs will also require you to break up with old habits, things that you've been used to. It could also be people that you're used to having around you. It's going to require, if they're not on that spiritual maturity level, for you to break up. That is a part of the breakthrough, right? It is the connection that keeps you connected to God. And listen, you should not be praying to God for this amazing breakthrough and to get you out of this and to push you to the next level. And then you keep the same things around you. You should be asking God, whatever it is on this level, I want to make sure that you give me what I need on this level, whether that be people. And then when He removes people, guess what? He replaces it with 10 times more. You just have to believe that whatever it is on this level that I need, God got it for me. And I want to be aligned with God, not aligned with people. When you receive your miracle, it is not a passive thing. It's not, okay, God, you bless me, I'm going to go on. And listen, some of you like God to bless you, and you don't even want to tell people that He did it. You want to sit in the corner and you want to be like, oh, I don't talk to nobody. Oh, it's just me and God. But God gives you the breakthrough. He pushes you through the storm for you to be a witness to someone else. God, listen, people sit back in their houses and they think to themselves that God is going to give you the nice little sprinkle. But you've heard me say that before. God does His blessings through people. So who are you going to bless in the midst of your breakthrough? So when you start thinking about, I'm in this storm, He has me here, you need to start thinking about, what is it in this moment that I need to get? What is it in this moment that I need to break out of, or break up old habits, or break up with people, or break up so I can ascend to the next level? Because it's not about you, it's about God's glory. So the maturity will require more of you. Why? Because God has more for you. He does. He has so much more for you. I remember a time when I was in my career, and I've been in IT over 25 years, but I remember when I was in my career, I just had such a hunger for more. And I just remember, no matter what company I worked for, I always found me a mentor. I found someone that I could be connected to, that can help me on this level, right? Now, that required me to step out of my comfort zone, right? And really dive into a place of humility so that I can receive lessons on my journey that will make me stronger. Now, in the midst of things, it didn't mean it was perfect. I had a lot of times where I left the office in tears because I was put through tests that made me stronger today. Listen, I am super strong because of that. But I would tell you, God allowed me at every level to surpass every mentor I had. So when I got to that first level, I got a mentor. We got connected. I learned what I needed. And then I went to the next level. And every level gave me a different version of me. And because of that, guess what? Listen, you can't tell me nothing now. I'm still at that level where I have mentors in my life, but now I have excelled to have mentors in different pockets of my life. So I would say to you that your breakthroughs are supposed to be mentors for you. And if you haven't spiritually just dug into finding out who is that person, you need to figure that out. Because remember, God delivers His blessings through people. So much is given, much is required. And so God requires more for you. And in this level of maturity, you don't want to be in elementary asking God for college stuff. It's not going to work. You're not going to even be able to sustain the language. You're not going to be able to talk the talk. You're not going to be able to do the studies because it would be very difficult for you to maintain at that level. So I would just say to you, when you go through your breakthrough, don't just go through it and say, oh, whew, I made it. And trust me, I understand, because sometimes when you make it, you need a little breather. You like, ooh, that was hard, right? But the hard things build you. The hard things bring your character to life. It excels you to the next level. And so I would just say to you, in the midst of that, ask yourself, what is feeding me? What breakthrough I could say that mentored me? Because you should be further along. You shouldn't be down here talking elementary blessings that God did 10 to 15 years ago when you're supposed to be in college, right? You have those people, and those people, you know them. It could be you too. But I would just say to you, there's so much more than just a breakthrough. Now I want to talk about, after the initial joy of the breakthrough and whoo, we made it, we got over it. Guess what happens? You start to put things back to familiarity. you start thinking that everything is just the way it is. The high is off. So when the high is off and things go back to normal, now what? So I would just tell you in those moments, be careful because those moments can have you in a place where you forget. You forgot the nights you cried. You forgot when you had to pray and fast. You forgot when you felt like you couldn't make it. You forgot those days. So now you start to treat everything like, hey, I have arrived. Guess what I'm going to tell you? That isn't God. God did not bless you for you to start walking around acting like you blessed you. Because you didn't bless you. God blessed you. So I would just say that to you, that if something in your life that you broke through and you've overcome whatever it is, don't get too comfortable with this new normal. Don't get too comfortable thinking you have arrived, because just as much as you broke through it, God can also bring you down, right? So those circumstances are for you, are to build you, not for you to get the big head and think that you'd have done it, because you didn't do it. Here's a news flash. The enemy doesn't want your stuff. He doesn't want the miracle, the stuff you ask God for. Listen, whatever that is, he don't want your stuff. He wants your growth. He wants your growth. He wants to make sure that whatever it is that you do, you stay in that place where you think you have made it. Because if you think you have made it, you get in the way of your growth. You become your biggest hater. Sometimes we think people around us be hating, but sometimes the biggest hater could be you, especially when you've blocked your growth because your ego is standing in the way. So I would just say to you, don't think someone is trying to steal your blessings, because everybody isn't telling, a lie. Some people could be telling you exactly what they're seeing or experiencing with you. So in the midst of that, just know that your growth should be far beyond your ego. The other thing I would just tell you about the growth, why it's important to stay in your growth bag, your joy bag. You hear me talk about joy bag all the time. It's so important to stay in your joy bag because you get to see the glory of God sprinkles in your life. Like as God takes you to this next level, there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to experience. You're going to experience where he's going to open a door for a connection with you. But I would tell you, if you get to a point where you haven't allowed the growth from the breakthrough to really hit home for you, for you to really pull what it was that you were needing at that moment to grow up spiritually, what will happen is it will cloud your vision. And listen, the Bible even talks about it. A person without vision will fail. You're not going to be able to go anywhere if you can't see the things. And that is exactly what the enemy wants. It's not that, oh, the miracle didn't happen. Yeah, it happened, but they want to make you think that the miracle has disappeared. Or that, oh, it was just a moment and I'll just get through it again. No, 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 no. You were supposed to get something from that last one. If you don't, here's the news flash. You will see it again. In some shape, form, or fashion, you will experience that same scenario, and it may be bigger. I don't know about you, but anytime I've had situations where I was in a storm or dealing with something, I absolutely positively did not want to go through that again. Oh, you say to yourself, whoo, absolutely not. I'm just so grateful that God brought me out of that. You think I want to go through that again? That is why it's so important for you to dig down deep in your growth to say, what was it in that moment that I was supposed to get? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Right? Because your vision, what you see is around you. What you see that you're supposed to grasp is going to help you get to the next level. How can you get to the next level if you can't even see what's around you now? God wants to not just break through something for you, but he wants to break the you out of where you are so that you're connected to him, not that you're connected to you. After each breakthrough, you'll find yourself having a moment of stillness, silence. You may even figure out that the people you thought that was supposed to be around, they're not there. They won't even pick up the phone anymore, right? But that was supposed to happen. She was supposed to stop answering your calls, or he was supposed to stop answering your calls because God wanted to be you and him. And in that moment, God is calling you to a higher calling. Now, the good news is this path, this higher calling, it has nothing to do with people. This is a personal relationship between you and God. And only you will know that. So I would just say to you that there is going to be a moment that you're going to feel like I've made it through, but things are quiet. They're almost too quiet. Whereas, I don't know about you, some people have to have noise around them to function. But in this, you don't need noise. You just need God. You need for him to speak and tell you what it is around the calling on your life. We all have a call. God has called you to greater. And so you want to hear that. You don't want to get so familiar with people and the noise from people being louder than the noise from God, the voice of God. You want to be able to hear him. So in the stillness, I would encourage you to take that moment to find out, what is it that God has given me to my higher calling? Recently, I just finished doing an amazing retreat for some amazing, outstanding ladies. And I'm actually wearing the shirt that we have. And the shirt says, just be the breakthrough. So it just stood out to me when we talked about this topic. I was like, you know what? We're going to wear that retreat shirt because that retreat shirt was dead on. A lot of times we're looking for God to break us through and we get through the promise and we get through the issues and the situation that we're dealing with. But we also forgot on the journey that we can be the breakthrough. So I would just tell you that after the miracle comes and the breakthrough comes, it is also a reminder to you that God gives you the power to be the breakthrough. Just be exactly what it is that you want God to do and be in your life. He gives you that power. And it was an amazing retreat. Oh, talking about freedom, fulfillment, breakthroughs. It was so good. So you'll have to catch us next year for our annual retreat. But here's what I want to close with, and I want to tell you that in the midst of your miracle, your breakthrough, things you've been asking God for, just remember it's not about you. It's not about, and I know we think it is because it's hard. The situations is hard. Whatever you're going through is hard. The people around you are acting hard. Circumstances are harder in your life, right? But here's what I would tell you. In the midst of that, you are growing. You are growing. You are growing to an amazing, amazing being, and you're allowing God to use you to be a witness to someone else. Because that higher level, because it never stops. Because after you get through that breakthrough, that higher level is going to require a higher you. So I will leave to tell you that your 225 moment today is for God to restore your spiritual sight so that you have an amazing growth and maturity on your path. That you get out of the way of you and you know that God is the one. He did it for me and he wants me to grow. He wants me to show up in his glory, in his likeness, in his image. And that means it requires more from me because God has more from me. So I hope this segment blessed you today. This is 225 Moments with me, MNicole. Thank you so much for watching. Share this message with someone who may need it today. You never know. This little nugget could be what they need. And you could be that witness to get them through that. You can find us on iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, you will find 225 Moments with me, MNicole. Thank you so much for watching.
225 moments where his glory shines. Yeah.